Alright, so we start off in front of the dungeon with Miss Chahaein. She's worried about her possible future man, Sung Jinwoo. And who wouldn't be? Look at how hot he's gotten. Look at how hot he's gotten since the beginning of the series. I mean, look at these two people. They are completely different. This man is just a complete Chad now. She knows Jinwoo's in there. She's got her pickaxe of doom. Look at this pickaxe. And she is ready to go save him. You know, I'm not 100% sure why she's so interested in Jinwoo, other than the fact that he smells good to her at this point, at least in the story so far. It must just be the aura that he has. Let's be honest, that Chad aura is just rolling off him. And she knows that she wants a piece of that. Let's hope she doesn't embarrass herself with that pickaxe later, huh? We're back in the throne room. All of these high orcs are standing to the side like they're clones in Star Wars. Man, I just have to say, the animation in this series is absolutely killing it. That's part of the reason why the anime is so much more popular than the manhwa, in my opinion. This is crazy. They did an absolute job on this episode, and I can't wait to see the later fights. It is so beautiful. Compare these two shots. This is what we got in the manhwa. This is what we got in the anime. There's an absolute stunning difference, no question. Now these orcs are not messing around. The hunters acknowledge they could destroy a city or two if they escaped, so we cannot let this dungeon break. No matter what, we can't have another Jeju Island, which if you haven't read the manhwa, you will find out about that soon enough, and trust me, it'll be great. We then acknowledge that the dungeon boss, whose name is Kargalgan, has 4 guards who are much more powerful than the other ones, and of course, they look so much cooler than the other ones. The standard rule in solo leveling is the cooler something looks, the more powerful they're gonna be, and that's just how it works. I don't make the rules, I just talk about them. The high orc shaman asks the humans if they're scared. Like, bro, do you see these people? Do you have eyes? Bro, look at these guys' faces. They look like aliens just landed on the White House lawn. Kargalgan drops that intimidating shout to freeze up all the hunters like he's on a raid with dragons. Hopefully the raid squad brought some chicken. Kargalgan tells the hunters he brought them there to be entertainment. Then he was going to eat them. Like the fried chicken we were talking about. Apparently, that's what orc soldiers do for fun. That's rough to say the least, but don't worry, because our boy Sung Jinwoo is ready to take them down. Oh, maybe not. Kargalgan summoned a shield and then using his gravity powers to shoot him through the ceiling and back to the floor like he's playing ping pong. The orc notices something's up with our boy Jinwoo, but doesn't do anything about it. Big mistake. All of the hunters look horrified, watching their leader be played like a video game from 1972. Then Sung Jinwoo steps up, asks politely if he can stop Sung Jinwoo from being murdered by this beast. Jinwoo obviously says yes because he understands he is nothing and it's time for a boy to get to work. Can we just take a moment to talk about this flexus? This man really just stops the fight, saves this man, and just politely asks, like, do you need help? Like, I see you dying, but I'm not sure. I don't want to help you if you don't want help. This is like the one friend who wants to move a bed into his house by himself. Like, okay, good luck, king. And then an orc pulls up on Jinwoo like he's gonna do something. Jinwoo pulls out the ruler's hand, stops the orc in its track, and then he plays ping pong with it. Ping pong is very relevant in this episode. Sung Jinwoo tells Jinwoo to handle it, and Kargalgan starts pulsing his aura Like that's gonna stop our boy. Then Jinwoo starts summoning his shadow soldiers and informs the orc that he's a terrible matchup for him. Inspector Wu shows up to the gate asking if our boy is inside. We got some weak ass scared hunter acting like Sung Jinwoo's gonna murder them all. Which, I mean, he could. Woo's wondering to himself why Sung Jinwoo would bother being a carrier for them. Meanwhile, this dude's going off acting like he's gonna die at the hands of Sung Jinwoo, telling him he needs to be in jail. And then they experience this crazy aura coming out of the gate, and suddenly they're all scared, telling them to measure the magic level. They find out it's actually a high A rank, closer to an S rank. Back in the dungeon, Chahaein is trying to figure out how Calhoun's weak team took out all of these high orcs. She runs down the tunnel with her pickaxe. The orc is laughing at Jinwoo's army. Jinwoo says, "You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't ready for this." Then he does his monarch's domain, which looks so sick in the anime. Iron sends out his intimidating shout, but it doesn't work because the orcs are too strong. But that doesn't matter because he one-shots them anyway. Why didn't it work? He one-shot them. He cuts them up, cuts them in half. Igris doesn't even need to slice him, just slams his sword into the ground and everyone dies. The hunters are absolutely amazed at Sung Jinwoo. He's running around, chopping up orcs for fun. He's realizing his shadows aren't quite as strong as the orcs, so he needs to do more of the work himself, but that's no problem for our boy. The high orc shaman summons a dragon head to start destroying the soldiers. Then he starts talking trash to Jinwoo, who's not who you want to talk trash. And he just starts bringing his shadows back to life. Then he shoots a huge diamond thing at him, thinking it's gonna hit him. Then he tries to use anti-gravity, hit Jinwoo with some boulders, dropping rocks on him, and that's not going to do anything. And then he starts sending out pillars of fire, which are beautiful in the anime, thinking that would do something. He hits Jinwoo with a huge wall of fire. Jinwoo just sends it back like he's an airbender or something. I don't even know how he managed that one, but it's Jinwoo. That's all you gotta say, it's Jinwoo. We cut back to Inspector Wu, who says that we need to inform the guild master of the Hunters Guild and get him over here to save the members of the guild. The High Orc Shaman thinks Jinwoo's gonna run out of mana. He doesn't realize that he's got an inventory and can just grab it out of a pocket dimension or whatever it is. Jinwoo horrifies everyone when he says arise, and suddenly the High Orcs are alive and ready to fight. Then Jinwoo lets kargalgan know he's soon gonna be one of his shadows as well. Kargalgan cannot believe what he's seeing. He literally glitches out. This is crazy. Look at what's happening. He literally glitches out. His vision's like a screen that you just punched after your team lost the Super Bowl. He cannot believe what is happening. He thinks back on his life when he was a young boy. He was told to kill everyone. Now he can't do that. He's wondering why he's even here, questioning his existence. Kargalgan sends down the strongest high orcs he has, his guards. Then we see Choyin, his badass, nerdy self. He realizes it's an emergency. He might need to bring in reinforcements like the White Tiger Guild or the Reaper Guild. All the A ranks of the Hunters Guild have already been informed, and he is on his way. Back in the dungeon, we get to see Iron one-on-one against one of the High Orc guards, and Igris takes on two of them because, of course he does, he's Igris. Tank runs up on one of them from behind, and somehow his weak ass killed one. The High Orc Shaman cannot believe what he's seeing. The other humans think they're gonna join in and do anything, which is a total joke. Kargalgan uses a bunch of hymns of sickness to make them puke, throw up on themselves. They're a mess, but they've been a mess this whole raid. I don't know why they're even here, to be honest. Kargalgan uses a bunch of different songs on Jinwoo, thinking that's gonna do anything. He doesn't realize Jinwoo's resistant to all these things. Jinwoo summons 3 mages to send a spirit bomb at Kargalgan. Chahaein finally appears, and she can't believe her eyes either. The hunters can't believe what's happening, and they also can't believe she came in with a pickaxe. What are you gonna do with the pickaxe? She can't believe her eyes. They can't believe their eyes. They can't believe that she came in with a pickaxe. They're just embarrassing the entire Hunters Guild. No one can explain what's going on. I can't even explain what's going on, and I'm explaining what's going on. This fight's crazy. Kargalgan uses Hymn of Rage, Hymn of Strength, Hymn of Giant, all at once, doesn't do anything. Jinwoo tells him he doesn't like giants, and this wasn't gonna do anything. And then we see him use the Song of Dragonfire. This is crazy. It blows up in the air around Jinwoo. Doesn't do anything, but we see like 100 dragon heads shooting fire all over the place. Jinwoo dodges it. Luckily, somehow it spares the other hunters. Like, how did it not take out any of the other hunters? I don't know how that worked, but it did. Kargalgan asks if Jinwoo dares to fight him. He says, of course I do. And then he stabs him in the eye for some reason. For some reason, there's a rope. Like, just a rope hanging out there. And Jinwoo just jumps up on it, hops up on it, which makes no real sense, but you know, they gotta make it look awesome. So here we are. Kargalgan got stabbed in his eye, so he's not doing so well. So he decides to turn the whole place into a lake of fire. Jinwoo throwing out destructo discs like Krillin. Then he uses Ruler's hand, grabs a chain off the door, wraps it around Kargalgan and starts spinning around him. Normally you see this move in the other direction where people are spinning the other person around. Jinwoo does in reverse. Jinwoo smashes him to the ground. Inspector Wu doesn't even understand what's going on, and he's not the only one, obviously. He doesn't know what he's seeing. He thought he might have to throw hands. Turns out something was stronger than all of them combined. It was Jinwoo. This is where chahaein starts to get the hots for him. You can see the glimmer in her eyes. She's looking at him like she wants to eat him up. She's trying to figure out who he is. The inspector's not gonna tell her who he is. And then we see Jinwoo standing over Kargalgan, telling him he's about to die. The orc's still in denial, thinking there's something he's gonna do. He can't even beat the shadows in a battle alone. Then we see Iron get ready to chop him in half, the way Iron always does. You'll understand that later on. Jinwoo, still being as polite as he can, doesn't take any of the loot, but decides he's gonna take the shadow because who's that useful for besides him, let's be honest. He's surprised to see a new rank. Elite Knight rank. That's not gonna happen again, right? Or is it? It probably won't, right? There's no way there's a higher rank. He decides that he's gonna name him Tusk because he can't remember his name, because Jinwoo can never remember the names. Then he realizes everyone's been watching him, including the surveillance team. They're like the cops. You don't want them watching you. The surveillance team stand in front of him like they're gonna do something. Inspector Wu tells the guild that he's an S rank and not to mess with him, to keep his secret. Sun Cahoon has to say thank you before he leaves, because that was absolutely amazing and they wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for him. He understands the only reason they survived was because he was there carrying the bags. The whole strike team bows down to him, kind of like Tusk just did. Then Jinwoo hands back the wills to the healer who gave it to him. Chahaein gets questioned why she has a pickaxe. She asks if they thought he would think it was weird, then acts like nothing happened, like we don't know she was talking about Jinwoo. She doesn't want to admit that she's got the hutch for Jinwoo, which, to be fair, everyone has the hutch for Jinwoo. Even the guys. We jump over to the Hunters Guild HQ. Joyin is talking to Cahoon, realizing how amazing and how powerful Jinwoo is. Junin asked if he was stronger than him, and Cahoon just drops it on him, just drops the truth on him. Do you think you could clear a high-level A-rank dungeon by yourself? Joyen understands he can't. He laughs at himself for being called the ultimate weapon and walks off to seethe, realizing how weak he is in comparison to Jinwoo. We see Jinho and Jinwoo. Wow. I've messed up these names a couple times. They need to do better. They are way too close. They need better names. The names in this manhwa are just so confusing because there's so many suns and woos, and they just need to be more like One Piece and have 100 cool names. We go to the Hunters Association headquarters where we see some loser named Lee Ming-sung, who's some famous dude who thinks he's so cool. He's so happy so many people are there to watch him get given his rank, as if his pitiful life actually matters, saying that he's superhuman, he already has everything, and then that's it. Episode 18 is done in the books. This anime is so beautiful. I'm so happy that I read the manhwa personally, because I would not want to wait years to see the end of this anime, because it's going to be years. But you can understand why it's going to be such a long time when you see the quality of the animation. I'm not going to swear what's going to happen in the next episode, but it is probably not going to top this one, to say the least. This one was pure cinema. It was beautiful. It was incredible. The job they did on this animation was amazing. Anyways, if you like that breakdown, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and tell me what you think I can do better in the next video. I'm always trying to improve, and I appreciate any constructive criticism. Thank you. Have a good day.